My name is Kevin Lehan. I'm the with me today, and she's going to be doing the bulk of the presentation, is Colleen Laddie, who is the sales associate with Emergency 24. Colleen moved into the sales department a year and a half ago from operations, and she's been with the company for about 12 and a half years. A little bit about Emergency 24. We are an underwriting laboratory listed Central Station that was founded with a focus on supporting security alarm contractors such as IPS. We strive to provide a high level of service so that they can continue to provide you the highest levels of life safety protections at your properties. More about Emergency 24. We're family owned and operated, founded in 1967 in Chicago. I like to say that we're a technology company that happens to focus on security. We write all of our own software in-house, and we have a staff of engineers and telephony experts that handle that. And we always have. In fact, Dante Sr. and his brother Dulio wrote the first computerized alarm dispatching software ever known. Until then, the dispatching process had always been manual with Rolodexes and rotary telephones. So we've had a lot of firsts since then as well. So I'm very proud of the technology that we developed in our company. And among the other things that we've developed was having the first end user security app, which Colleen is going to be demonstrating here in a moment. Colleen, can you move us forward a slide? Okay. From our original location in Chicago, we now have 4 strategically placed facilities in 3 different time zones in 4 different electrical grids. Each location is staffed with multiple people, 24/7, 365. And as a UL listed Central Station, we're built as a mission critical facility, which exceeds industry standards. That includes several telco and internet providers at each facility, automatic failover capability should one center become disabled, and those sorts of things. To gain UL listing, which we have had since such a thing existed, Central Stations have to demonstrate compliance with many standards. Specifically the standard for Central Station Alarm Services. And each of our facilities is audited annually to ensure ongoing compliance. And one more slide forward, Colleen. And real quickly, we have live operators that are handling the calls. So anytime you call in, they're going to be able to address your signal. And you can expect courteous service from a very knowledgeable and highly trained individual. We do not have specialists, so whoever answers your phone should be able to handle the signal without having to pass it off. And that's how I'm going to segue into Colleen's presentation. I mentioned earlier that she started in operations, which means she started as an alarm monitor, and she's one of the best to ever done it. This woman has generated 100,000 voice calls a year for over a decade. And so when I had the opportunity, I asked to bring her to my department. And so with that, here is Colleen Laddie.
Hi, my name is Colleen Laddie, and I'm here today to explain some of our key features that will ensure that you have the best experience working with Emergency 24. So our first feature would be two-way text verification. This is an interactive service. You as the customer have the option to enroll and opt out of these notifications at any time yourself. So you don't need to wait for IPS. You don't have to call Emergency 24. You can do it yourself at any time through your phone or on a website. So if you don't see our text message when we're texting you, that's okay, because we will attempt to text you 5 times, and then if you still don't answer, we will start phone notifications like normal when we normally call you. All of these notifications are logged into the history on your account anytime that we text you, and when you respond to us, or if you don't respond, all the attempts that are made from Emergency 24 and what happens is logged in history. So what will be notified via text message in this situation? This would be what we consider non-critical signals, such as low battery, phone line failure, power failure, communication failure, supervisory, trouble alarms, or failed and missed auto tests. And this can be customized to your specific account. For instance, if you'd like to be notified via two-way text for a low battery, but you'd still like a phone call for troubles and supervisories, we can work together with IPS to make sure that's exactly how your account is set up. The next feature that we have is OneWay email text notification. So this can be set up using email or text notifications. Originally, this was only set up to use emails, but now you can set up a phone number as an email to use this feature as a text message. So if you would like both phone notification and email or text notifications, that's great because that's exactly how this feature works. This is in addition to a phone call. And if you'd like to set this up, just let IPS know and we'll work together to make sure that we get your account updated. But if you would choose to rather have an email text message instead of a phone call, that's also something that we can set up for you with IPS. These alerts notifications for email text notification will come immediately after the alarm is received. If you're still receiving a phone call as well, the phone call may come a little bit later, but the email text message will be immediate. And please note that this is an automated email or text message, and this will not record in history, and you cannot communicate back to Emergency 24 or IPS using this service. I think this is our best feature, is our subscriber phone app. It's called You Are Secure. And after I'm done reading you out some of the features here, I'm going to actually bring up the website and show you how it looks using one of my test accounts. And then there's a lot of options that you have with You Are Secure. This can be utilized as either an app on any smartphone or tablet or as a website. So it depends on what communication path you choose. You can use it either way you'd like. You'll have access to view your account, or if you have more than one account that we monitor for you, you can view all of your accounts using one login. You'll have the ability to place your system in test or remove the system from test at your fingertips anytime. You can view history on your account. This is handy to ensure that all alarms were received if you do regular testing. You can make temporary changes on your account from the app and website. You can request permanent changes from IPS. For instance, if you're only available certain days or times on a specific phone number, such as my business phone number, I'm only available from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., you can request an update so that we will automatically skip that number outside of those days and hours. Is your business closed on the holidays? You can update a holiday schedule on the app and website so that we don't disturb you during the holidays. You can provide us your business hours so that we can automatically skip your business phone number outside of those hours, and the authorities appreciate this information if we're dispatching. And if you notice something on your account doesn't quite look right, great catch. You can email or call IPS so that we can correct any discrepancies on your account. So let me pull up my website here. This is what the website You Are Secure is going to look like. You can see the features up here at the top if you want to click around. You can enroll for two-way text notifications right from this website, and you can contact Emergency 24 from here. So the top right would be where I log in, and this is exactly what you would see if you were logging into You Are Secure. So first I'm going to type in my account number, 020564, and my password, and then the phone number that's on the account. And some of you may be familiar with this phone number. I hope you are. It's the phone number that you use to dial Emergency 24 to place your accounts in test or remove them from test or cancel false alarms. And then I'm going to log in. I'm not going to save the password. So there's first an announcement up here that you are responsible for anything that you input onto this website, because there are some things that you'll be able to change permanently, other things that IPS would have to change permanently for you. You can agree or disagree to this. And below here, you can see my different account numbers. See, the account numbers are on the left. The name and phone numbers are just here. This is the date and service. All of your accounts should say, I believe, October the 12th, because that's the day that you came over to Emergency 24. And then the address for the account. So for this instance, I'm going to be using my test account that says Emergency 24. I'm just going to click on it. It's going to show me all of my information for the account. Starts with the account number, the name that I have listed for the property, my address with the city, state, and zip code. This is my phone number that I placed for the account. If you have more than one, it would show you all of the phone numbers. The time zone that I'm in, your account type, if I have a stress code, the date and service, the equipment type, number of auto tests, and reports. Here is where you can make temporary changes to your account, or you can request permanent changes from IPS. This would be if I had more than 2 subscriber phone numbers listed on the account. Just below here is the party list that I have listed. So this would be my office phone number that I have listed 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And then I have a work phone number listed that's only Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So outside of these hours, Emergency 24 is going to skip this phone number if it's outside of these days and these hours. On the right side here, it's going to show you my passcode. So I'm going to click here so I can show you some options that we have with passcodes. So we do have different privilege levels for passcodes that you can set up with IPS. So 0205, for instance, is only going to grant access to look at history on the account or for our operators to read you out history. You won't be able to cancel a false alarm. You won't be able to place the account in test, and you cannot make temporary changes with that passcode. Another one would be just for cancellation. So if we're calling you and you give us this passcode, we would only be able to cancel a false alarm. We can't do anything else on the account. The holdup passcode is something that a lot of customers ask us about. This is an inconspicuous way for you, the customer, to tell us when we're calling you that you need help right now. So let's say that there's somebody there that's holding you captive and they tell you, you tell them everything's okay. So you would give us this holdup code. We're going to act like as if everything's okay. We're going to ask you to repeat it, and we're going to send the police there and let them know that you're in trouble. So I think that that's a great idea, and you can make it numbers, letters, a combination, whatever you would like in this area as a holdup code. Then the bottom two are good for everything. They can cancel false alarms, place the account in test, look at history, make temporary changes, all kinds of things. So I'm just going to go back to my account here. Again, my party list is here. It's also just below here, but you can click here to see the party list. Synchronized parties. This is because I have more than one account that I have access to on UR Secure. If I'd like all the parties to be the same across the accounts, I can synchronize the parties. The conditions. These are all the things on the account that we monitor. So if you want to see specifically what we monitor on your account, I can just show you for reference. And we do try to give a lot of detail on this page just to show you. So this would be the code that comes in from your alarm system. This is the alarm. This is the callback option that we're using. This is a more detailed description, and then this is going to be if we're calling the subscriber or not. So this is my test account, so I'm currently not calling anybody on any of these alarms, just in case. So I'm going to go back to my account here. This would be the supervision schedule if we're monitoring your business hours. You can click here. And here you can see I put in some business hours, and then you can change this. You can do a temporary change, or you can make a permanent change, asking IPS to make a permanent change. Holiday supervision schedule. So if we do monitor openings and closings for your account, you can update this schedule. So like I said, we don't disturb you on the holidays, then we will automatically not call your business then on those dates. Business hours, this would be if you want to provide business hours. Like I said, the authorities do appreciate this information, and we can also skip calling the property outside of these business hours and days. View the history report. This one is exciting. So let's click here. This is going to show you any activity on your account. You can go back, I believe, as far as the past 3 months with the click of a button. And you have some options up here if you'd like to choose any options, but you'll see the account number on the left. If it's an actual alarm, it's going to be in red and say yes, and then it's going to give you some more details on the alarm. The date and time will be showed. This is the alarm that came in. Description is going to show you if we have an additional description or a more detailed description. The entity called is exactly that. This would be the person that we called, and their phone number would be listed here. And then this is any remarks on the account. Right now it's showing you the alarm that was received. I think that about wraps it up for me, Taylor. If anybody has any questions.
Yes. One question came in the chat. If you have several accounts, do you have to have a different login for each account number, or can you have one login with access to all of your accounts?
No, you would have one login with access to all of your accounts if that's what you wanted. But there can be multiple people that have access to one account, and then only some people that have access to all of the accounts.
Gotcha. Are there any other questions? You can drop them in the chat, or if you have access to a microphone or you're calling in, you can hop on and ask. I'm keeping an eye on the chat box. I know it's a lot of information and it's new, so we want to.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Just a quick question, recap. Would you touch again on what your options are by putting the app on your phone? It sounded very interesting. That's probably something I'll be doing.
So you can either put it on your phone as an app, or you can use it on a tablet, or you can come to this website called the letter U, the letter R, and then the word secure.com. But IPS would have to set you up with access currently.
Yes, anyone who's interested in adding these services, I will follow up via email afterwards and give you instructions on what we need from you to move forward and get you signed up. We just wanted to show everybody the capabilities. That way you kind of know what you'd be signing up for. But we'll follow up with some instructions.
Thank you. Yeah, very interesting.
Are there any other questions out there? Let me check the chat. I don't see anything else in the chat. Oh, that chat is just for me. It's for a follow-up, so I will take care of that. Let's see.
Hi, Taylor.
Oh, I've got a question here. Is there an additional cost with this service? And the answer to that is no. There is not an additional cost from IPS. Now, when you're talking about texting and stuff like that, obviously there's, the typical data rates, messaging rates from your carrier. But as far as the service goes, the app, everything like that is included from IPS.
Good morning, Taylor. I think this is great information. It might be worthwhile if Colleen can just repeat the difference between the temporary call list changes and the process for submitting permanent call list changes, if she doesn't mind.
No problem, Tim. So I'm going to click on my. So if you want to make a temporary change to the account, you can make a temporary change for up to 29 days on the account, I believe. Anything permanent, you would either click here to request a permanent change, and that's going to send a message to IPS, or you would call IPS or send them an email as well and ask them to make the permanent change on the account. So for instance, if I wanted to make a temporary change, I would put in the expiration date, and I can pick from my date here. Let's just put in December 1st, for instance, and a time I'm going to pick 5 p.m. We do use military time here, and I'm going to change some parties. Continue to step 2. Copy created. A temporary copy of your account data, including parties and passcodes, has been created. It will expire 12/01/2021 at 5 p.m. Next step is to actually change the data. Make the temporary change you intended by clicking one of the buttons below. Edit temporary parties. Okay, so I'm going to add in a party here. Name is going to be Colleen Work. You can choose the phone type, which would be a landline, cellular phone, or beeper. And yes, people do still have beepers. So I'm going to put in one of my phone numbers at emergency 24 here. I'm going to choose multiple days. So I'm going to press Control and I'm going to click on the days that I want, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to put this weekdays only. Those are the only days that I work. And I'm going to put in my hours, which is going to be 7 a.m. because I'm in Central Time. And my end time would be 3:30 p.m. Central Time again. And then is the number valid? Yes, you can choose yes or no. And I'm going to save the changes. Oh, I didn't put it in military time. So now I have to change it to military time. And I'm going to save my changes. Temporary party was added successfully. Click here to go back to account. So now we can look at our party list. And you're going to see my temporary party is party number 3 with my phone number, Monday through Friday, available from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So also, this change is going to be in the history for the account. So I'm going to view the history, and it's going to show you that I just made a temporary change at 10:23 a.m. Eastern, and I made a temporary change to the account. Is there any other questions?
Let me check the chat. Nothing in the chat.
Hey, Colleen, it's Tim again. Appreciate you showing us that. This really is a lot more functionality than many of our long-term customers ever had. So this is great stuff. I know when we moved to EM24, we had some customers with some special rules, we'll call it, i.e. don't call me overnight for a trouble on my fire panel. Just delay that to the morning, or email me those notifications. So maybe two parts. Is there a way a customer can see whether those kind of rules are set up? And maybe could you tell a little bit about the opportunities for delayed notifications and things like that as well?
So those are actually kind of background features, Tim, when we set up the email notification, since that's a one-way notification. So the customer will not be able to see if that's active on their account. That would be something that IPS or Emergency24 would have to look up.
Okay.
But the delayed notifications, so we do have the option for delayed notifications on specific alarms or trouble alarms. These are more non-critical signals, the same as the two-way text. We can delay these kind of alarms between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. so that we're not calling you in the middle of the night for a low battery or a power failure, something that you wouldn't want to be woken up for in the middle of the night. We can delay those notifications so that we'll call you the next day after 9 a.m. because they're not as important as, let's say, a fire alarm or a burglar alarm. For those, you would always get called immediately from Emergency24.
Well, we really have a whole slew of ways of contacting you, right? You've got text, you've got email, you can do delayed calls if that is right for you. So we're very excited about just all the options that EM24 brings to the table for our customers.
We are definitely excited to have you.
Very much.
I was muted. Are there any final questions? All right, I don't see anything in the chat and I don't hear anybody hopping on their mic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do our raffle. Get the names all mixed up here in my very official raffle box. And let's see, we've got Jeremy Key. Are you on here?
Yes, I am.
You are. Perfect. I was gonna say there's about 60 people, so it's slow for me to check, but you are a lucky winner of our raffle, so I will follow up with you to get that out to you. And then, like I said, I will email everyone with a link to the recording of the webinar so that you can go back and review, because I know it's a lot of information to kind of digest. So we'll send you the link to the recording and then instructions on how to get signed up for these services with IPS and EM24. And with that, I want to wish everyone a good rest of their day. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good job, Taylor.